Hi, this is the video for 5.1b pet sitters. In this activity, we have Carlos and Clarita making a list of some of the issues that they need to consider as part of their business plan to care for cats and dogs while their owners are on vacation. Here are the two issues they've come up with. Space. Cat pens will require 6 square feet of space for each cat, and dog runs require 24 feet squared for each dog. Carlos and Clarita have up to 360 feet squared of space. And that is what's available in the storage shed for pens and runs. This still leaves enough room to move around the cages. Their second issue is startup costs. Carlos and Clarita plan to invest much of the $1,280 they earned from their last business venture to purchase cat pens and dog runs. Cat pens are $32 each, and dog runs are $80 each. Of course, Carlos and Clarita want to make as much money as possible for their business, so they're trying to determine how many of each type of pet they should plan to accommodate. They plan to charge $8 per day for each cat and $20 per day for each dog. After surveying the community regarding the pet boarding needs, Carlos and Clarita are confident that they can keep all of their boarding spaces filled for the summer. So the question is, how many of each type of pet should they prepare for? Their dad has adjusted the same number of each, maybe 12 cats and 12 dogs. Carlos thinks that they should plan for more, since they can charge more. Clarita thinks that they should plan for more cats since they take less space and therefore they can board more. What do you think? What recommendation would you give Carlos and Clarita, and what argument, when it says argument, it really says math argument, would you use to convince them that your recommendation is reasonable? So we are going to think of a recommendation for Carlos and Clarita and have some math argument to back it up. This problem can be solved many different ways. In our work this past week, I saw students solve this by building tables, by building graphs, by drawing diagrams, by creating equations or inequalities. It kind of depends on what you are comfortable with as far as how you solve this. I think the way that I'm going to start this is by seeing if their dad's suggestion of 12 cats and 12 dogs would work. So I'm going to, build a little table. I guess that makes sense for me. And see if, let's put this as cats. Dogs, and see if it works for each of the things that are limiting their business. So they've got 2 things limiting their business. It looks like they have space. And I think I'm going to add another column for cost. So those are the 2 things that they need to keep in mind as they're trying out different combinations of animals. So let's say we go with the dad's suggestion of 12 cats and 12 dogs. So I'll add that in my table. So 12 and 12. And I know that looking at our information that each cat takes 6 square feet of space. So to find out how much space 12 cats take, I'm going to do 6 times 12. That gets me 72. And then I'm going to add that to the space for 12 dogs. So plus, and the dogs take 24 square feet each. So 24 times 12. So that's gets me 360 square feet of space. So that looks good. I've used up all my space. Let's make sure that we have enough money for that. So I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to look at cost The cat pens are $32 each. So I'm going to go 32 times my 12 cat pens. That's $384. And I'm going to add the $80 for each dog run. So plus $80 times my 12 dogs. So that is 1,344. So that one will not work. So I'm going to say, nope, that option doesn't work. It fits under the space, but it costs too much money. So now we need to decide what another option could be. How about instead of the same amount of each, I just go all cats. So let's do 0 dogs and just go all cats. So if I do that for the space, I'm going to do 360 divided by 6. That's how much space each cat needs. I can do 60 cats. So that'll get me enough space. Okay, we use up all the space. Let's verify that I have enough money for that. So each cat pen is $32. 60 times 32. Oh, wow. 1920. So I cannot do all cats. How about I do all dogs? So let's go ahead and see how many dogs I can fit in 360 square feet. They take up 24 each, so I'm going to go 360 divided by 24. If I do 0 cats, I can do 15 dogs. And that'll take up all 360 square feet. Let's make sure we have enough money for that. So $80 times 15 dogs, $1,200. That is an option right there. What if I don't want to just do dogs? I want to make sure that I have the option for both. How about I just reduce the dad scenario? Because his cost was just over $1,280. What if I just take away 1 dog? So I'm just testing different numbers. So 12 cats and let's do 11 dogs. Let's see how much space that takes. So 12 times the 6 feet plus 11 times the 24 square feet. So that'll be 336 square feet used. And then let's do for the money, for the cost, 12 cats times $32 plus 11 dogs times the $80. That'll get me $1,264. So that one works. I actually really like that last one because it makes my business more flexible. I'm not just housing dogs, but I can do both cats and dogs. So I think I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to say I recommend $12 cats and 11 dogs to stay under 360 feet squared and under $1,280 for the startup cost. Okay. I'm curious how much money that option would make. So I'm actually going to add profit to my table. So I'm going to say like this, profit, and I'm going to find the profit for the 2 that work. So I wonder if I made a good choice. So for each dog, they charge $20 per day. And for this first option, there's 15 dogs. So I go 20 times 15. I'm going to make $300 if I had chosen just dogs. Okay, let's check my next one. For the cats, it's $8 per day. So 8 times 12. And the dogs are $20 a day plus 20 times 11. So $316 per day. So honestly, having a mixture of cats and dogs does make them more money. So I think I'm going to stick with my recommendation of 12 cats and 11 dogs. As you are doing this problem, if you come up with a better recommendation, go with it. Because this is kind of a matter of preference and seeing how many we could fit in the space and stay under the budget. And also maybe looking at how much profit we're going to make. Maybe that could be a good deciding factor in the end. Let's go ahead and do our takeaways for this. So that's the next page here. In pet sitters, the statements about startup costs and space are called constraints. Why are they called constraints? They're constraints because they limit the situation. Limit the, and I'm going to say instead of situation, the possible solutions. Viable options for the space constraint include examples. You see how we chose different combinations and we use those examples. And the reason why we chose examples was we want to prove that we stay under the 360 square feet. We stay under 360 square feet. The pet sitter's context can be modeled with a system of linear inequalities. So I didn't get into algebra at all, but this is really good for inequalities because we need to be less than or equal to both of the constraints, to 360 feet squared and the $1,280 startup money. In the pet sitter's context, Carlos and Clarita want to maximize their profit. So that was something that I looked at the end, which situation would really give them more profit. The statement about profit is not a constraint, though. And the reason why it's not a constraint is because profit does not limit the answers. So because profit doesn't limit the answers. Okay. Instead, profit is the result of our choices. What combination of dogs and cats do we choose? Our choices for our recommendation. Okay. This is only one way to look at this problem. Again, you could have done a graph, you could have done equations or inequalities using algebra. You could have drawn a chart of what the storage shed with all the pens would look like. So we're not limited to this. In summary, in this lesson, we encountered a situation in which decisions were limited by certain constraints. We tested combinations of quantities to see if they fit one, both, or neither constraint. Although we didn't resolve the situation today, we only made a recommendation, we recognized the goal of this type of work to make decisions within the parameters of the constraints that will maximize the quantity, such as the profit. I hope that this was helpful for the 5.1b activity, and I wish you good luck working on the Check Your Understanding practice problems. Thank you.